the shiniest, fanciest funnel, the best systems in the world. They cannot fix a crap offer.
Hey, you're listening to She's That Founder, the show that helps ambitious women stop drowning in decisions and start owning their CEO seat with a little AI magic. I'm Dawn Andrews, and today is the beginning of a two-part conversation that is amazing if you are struggling or have struggled with being the person wearing too many hats and trying to be really effective with your marketing. In part one, we're talking about why marketing feels so hard for smart founders and how leadership habits, neurodivergent brains, and outdated systems collide, and why doing it all yourself stops being scrappy and starts being unsustainable leadership. And my guest today in this two-part series is Pam Langord, the founder of Simply Magic Marketing. Pam helps founders stop being the bottleneck and build marketing systems that actually work, especially for brains and leaders that don't thrive on rigid, one-size-fits-all advice. And the more important part is that Pam is one of my business besties, and she's freaking genius, you guys. So I'm so glad that I get to share her with you today. And then we get to have one of our business bestie conversations, both today and in the next episode. So hello, Pam. Welcome. I'm going to shift over our scene.
Cool. Hey, Don. So happy to be here. And yeah, this is going to be so much fun.
I'm ready for it. I mean, so truth be told for you out there, my listener, I'm a small business. I do a lot of the marketing, run a lot of the marketing, and it is something that confounds me over and over. And we're going to talk a little bit about marketing shame and consistency shame later on in the episode, because Pam's got so many great nuggets of wisdom to share with us. So Pam, let's just dive right in. This is my question to you. I'm sure founders come to you saying that they need better marketing. I'm really curious, like once you're inside someone's business, what do you usually realize they actually need?
They usually need to let go of stuff.
Ah, yeah.
They are stuck in the busy of doing all the things they were told they should.
Yeah.
A while back, there was a thing about posting 10 times a day on Facebook would get the algorithm jump-started and all of these wacky things that are floating out there that don't work for the majority of people.
Yeah, just so that we can call that out, who do those things work for? Like, why would someone post 10, 20 times a day, and to what end? Like, how does that really move a business forward? Most businesses.
Well, it doesn't, because you're not able to put quality content out there 10 times a day.
Yeah.
Unless you're being super repetitive, which the algorithm hates. So then you're defeating the purpose, and your people probably are not.
I mean, the repetitiveness or the volume, I'm just trying to think from a business strategy perspective.
Mm-hmm.
When does doing things at that volume really actually make a difference? And I'm asking it because I want people to be able to give themselves permission to let that go and not feel like they have to be that person. Not just because you and I said so, but because it's not really aligned with what they're trying to accomplish in their business.
Right. The only time I would suggest really ramping up your posting is if you're getting ready for a big launch or you have a book promo coming out, some specific event, and then you're creating content that is in alignment with your goal. You know, you're doing behind the scenes, some B-roll, some, hey, I'm getting this ready for you stuff, where your people will actually tune in and it resonates with them.
Because they're following a time-limited situation, not an ongoing, this is what we do every day, all the time.
Exactly. And again, it's not a sustainable strategy, so you would want to do it as kind of a sprint.
Yeah. Okay, great. So thank you for that distinction, because I think just with you sharing that alone, it takes, like, you've just removed one, like, strap of the big old backpack off somebody's back. You know what I mean? Like, we've lightened the load just by distinguishing that that doesn't have to be your goal. That's not necessarily a success metric.
Yeah. And the only platform that really works on is Facebook.
The volume play.
The volume play, because if you tried that play on LinkedIn, that algorithm hates that kind of volume.
Yeah, it likes special.
It likes engagement. It's like the algorithm right now, I think the sweet spot is if people comment 18 words or more. Those are considered valuable.
Got it.
And raises you in the algorithm.
Which is extraordinary when you consider the average comment is not even a comment. It's a smiley face, a whatever, a heart, or it's 3 words like, that's cool, dude, or right on, liked it, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. And so, especially in LinkedIn, that kind of engagement reads so differently. And that's why customizing your strategy for whatever platforms you're on takes so much pressure off because you're not trying to do the same thing everywhere. And it feels like you're shouting into the void.
Yeah, and that's exhausting. As somebody who has shouted many times for very long times into the void.
Me too.
Well, okay, so now that we're bringing you from outside inside these businesses, what leadership patterns do you see that are maybe quietly sabotaging marketing efforts, even when the strategy and tools are solid?
Again, it's that letting go. As founders, we've built everything. We own everything, and it's kind of our baby.
Do you think that we might be in love with our voices a little bit too?
Oh my goodness, yes.
You know?
Or with something we built, it might be a course, it might be, a webinar, whatever, that you're convinced because you put your entire heart and soul in it, that if you just push it enough, it will finally convert and sell like gangbusters. You have to step back, start being the objective CEO and look at the numbers, because those are the first things I go into a business and look at is what is truly working and shows potential for scale, and what are we wasting time and energy on that could be let go, even if you put it on the shelf for a while and want to try it again at a different time with a different angle. But constantly beating that drum, it's exhausting and it's not going to make it go faster. And the shiniest, fanciest funnel, the best systems in the world, they cannot fix a crap offer. And we've all created something bad, admit it.
Yeah.
And so that is, I think, the toughest thing I see for founders to do is to let go, even if they're little itty bitty things that they're still hanging out there, but they're putting time and energy into, even if it's just mental energy, finally just letting those things sunset.
Yeah, I'm feeling calmer just having you say that, truthfully. What you're describing, we tell ourselves that by staying in the details, staying in every syllable of our marketing, that this is what being responsible is. It's quality control, or it's making sure we're staying on message, or just being in all of those steps stops being a place of caring and starts being irresponsible leadership at that point. Well, and I'll tell you that where it comes from for me, why I tend to stay in it is a little bit of a neurodivergent brain, because it's not just the quality control piece. It's like, well, that sounds fun today. Of course, I want to be the person that's editing every single syllable and word of this podcast. Or, yeah, I'm going to come up with 16 new engagement questions just because that sounds really fun. My neurodivergent brain, married up against a traditional marketing system, ends up being a wormhole for me. And the reason I'm saying this out loud is because I know that you work with neurodivergent founders as well, and especially folks with ADHD. So what about traditional marketing systems, like sort of the, rubber stamp off the shelf, follow these directions, post 50 times a day? What about those traditional marketing systems and maybe even some of the AI tools that are out there to help? What about those doesn't necessarily work for the neurodivergent brain? What's the gap there, do you think?
The gap there is that they were programmed and designed for the masses. Right now, even AI was programmed to suit the masses and learn from all of humanity. And I've been finding that most founders I come in contact with are neurodivergent in some way. And so with AI, definitely training the AI to understand your brain is key. And from a leadership standpoint, really identifying the things that not only light you up, but only you can do. Because so many people think they need like a COO to come in and then they'll be fine. When in reality, it might be an actual marketing coordinator to take all that magnificent stuff out of your brain and take it over from you. Or it could be your salesperson. I'm finding it's never with the systems.
Okay.
It's more getting the systems in alignment with their brain. The capability is there. But yeah, we want to have fun. We want to do what lights us up. We want to get our clients their transformation, because at the end of the day, we're kind of selling that feeling, that new person, less than just the what and the how we get there.
Well, I'm thinking like when it comes to marketing funnels, because whether you're a big business, small business, or whatever, there is some sort of pathway for collecting the people that you want to be able to buy your product or your service, right?
Yeah.
How does one with a neurodivergent brain marry that with a funnel? Okay, let me be more specific. I'll spend all the time with outside contractors building a funnel, and I kid you not, within minutes of getting ready to hit go, I'm bored. It doesn't seem like it's right. I'm ready to go back and tear it down to the studs and rebuild it again because my need for fascination brain doesn't trust that process. How, when working with neurodivergent founders and use, because I know we're going to reveal these AI tools Pam has later, and I'm just saying they're amazing, but how, when working with a founder like that, do you help to rein them in and sort of trust the part that's the traditional or off the shelf and marry that up with their uniqueness so that they can play through and actually have something come out the other side?
I usually help them map it out in which pieces they want that kind of involvement, because the mechanical funnel we were all sold back in 2015, it never actually worked. That triangular shape, if you drop enough leads in the top, filter, filter, filter. It was a numbers game. And the idea was if you just threw enough leads in, I'll pop enough ideal clients to make a living.
Yep.
Well, funnels don't work like that. They're messy. There are U-turns. There are left turns. There are people circling around. And so first understanding that, because most of the people I work with, that idea of a funnel feels icky to them and too mechanical.
Well, and when you add AI connected to that, even just the mention of AI, the word, not even necessarily the application of it, funnels already felt, to some people, myself included, impersonal. But then when you add AI to that, it feels like it's one more step removed from the humanity of actually connecting with people. So what do you see now in the world of funnels, and how can AI make those a little bit easier?
It's automating what you feel comfortable automating, making sure your AI understands you, your business, your client's nervous system even, and picking the places where you know that personal touch makes the difference. You know, even if it's sending an e-card to people who signed up for something, the places you want to add what I call unicorn moments, the things that are unique to you, and strategically putting them along the pathway of that client journey. And just stop looking at it as, that triangle.
A big old triangle. Yeah.
And think of it more as, okay, you have a friend, you're leading them down the path. What do you want them to see, feel, hear? And we start with that.
Well, what I'm appreciating about this already is, part of the reason people build funnels in their businesses to bring in leads to make sales, right? But another reason to build them is to help build consistency in marketing. And as somebody with a neurodivergent brain, I realize that I, over time, have internalized inconsistency as a failure. I have been upset with myself because I haven't been able to be consistent in my marketing. And yet I rail against funnels because they seem boring and inhuman. So the very thing that would make a difference for me and solve the shame problem, solve the inconsistency problem, and just move beyond it. You don't even have to get into therapy to handle it. Just set it up and then you're handled, right? From your perspective, what do you think is actually happening when someone can't stay consistent, even with good tools or even with AI support? What do you think is going on for people? I just shared some of what's going on for me. What do you think is stopping people from being consistent?
Unrealistic expectations. We think we're superwomen, and we are superwomen, but we do have limits. And so the idea of, I'll post on Facebook 5 times a week, LinkedIn 3 times, I'll do 2 lives, I'll create 5 reels, I'll do this. And we love it. We love creating.
No doubt.
But then life happens, and that structure is not sustainable.
Yeah. And even with help, I can tell you it's a nail biter.
Yeah, exactly. So it's starting with, and it kind of sucks, but being super realistic and even erring on the side of what do I actually have time for, and even cut that by maybe 25% to start. You can always increase. If you find you have time and you have a thought about a post, a blog, or whatever, go for it. But you start with the minimum viable product and then build from there. Because we jump in and we're told so many myths about the algorithms and being visible. And this new market is truly a quality over quantity market.
And it's hard, I think, when as a participant in the market, somebody who is on social, when you see volume, you're equating that with success or sales or the right way to do it or
Yeah, the loudest person is not necessarily successful.
making the most sales.
Yeah.
Given this, like, what do you think it's costing founders creatively, financially, when they are running their business this way? And I want to call out that a lot of what we're talking about is also running your business from your head. You know, if I don't have a funnel in place, if I don't have something that can automate some portion of my sales cycle, then it is running my business from my head because I'm waking up every day wondering, who can I talk to? Where can I have those conversations? Where do I have more sales opportunities? I'm not generating something ongoingly for myself. So not only is the funnel not there, but all of that weight is in my brain along with the other functions that I need to serve as a founder of a small business. So what do you notice it costs people creatively or financially when they're running their business from their heads like that instead of using systems like the systems that you help people set up?
It's almost a feast or famine cycle.
Okay.
They wake up one morning and go, oh, I haven't been consistent on social media. For the next month, they break their back pumping out content. And then they realize, oh, shoot, I'm not having conversations and I'm not making any sales. Okay, quick, jump in the DMs. And meanwhile, there's guilt that by jumping into the DMs to have conversations, they're not pumping out all that content.
Yeah.
And you just keep realizing what you need to do and feel guilty leaving task A kind of in the dust because now you had to focus on task D, and it's exhausting.
100%. And we haven't even added in either the product delivery or the service delivery part of things. Like that's the third part of this stool that you're either dropping the ball to go back to marketing or dropping the ball to go back to service or delivering your product.
And there is so much emphasis in the marketplace on here's how you get leads, here's how you network. The real magic is what you're doing with those leads after they come into your world. It really isn't that hard. You don't need 50,000 of them either. A lot of your income and the easiest people to sell to are the people who know you and have been in your world. So repeat customers.
Yeah.
Taking care of the people who have been, say, on your email list for a year. Do you do anything special for them?
What I'm realizing as you share this stuff, Pam, is like, if this was a checklist, it's no, I didn't do that. Oops, I missed that. No, that's another thing. And I don't say it as, you know, going back to our earlier part of the conversation, oh, I need to do more. I need to add this. It's that I realize that the things that make me feel more connected, like why I'm eschewing the funnel, the things that would make me feel more connected, more personalized, I've been chasing the volume and not chasing the connection that you're discussing in those checklist items. And it would be beneficial to add more of that and get rid of some of the other.
Yeah. A lot of founders think they need, 10 different lead magnets or what have you, when one solid one will do. And again, it's what you do with them after they come into your world. I mean, you hear that whole thing about nurture sequence, which is great. Yes, you want to talk to them specifically as a new person coming into your world and about the resource you just gave them. But what else could you do that is unique to you that would feel good to them?
Just so that I'm clear, because this is what I feel like you and I talked about in our behind the scenes conversations, this is what your series of tools that you're about to share with us helps people do. Yes?
Yes.
Like it leverages the power of AI with the uniqueness of a founder to be able to create these kinds of experiences for clients. Yes?
Correct.
So you get to come back and hear Pam lay this all out for us. So in part 2, we're going to talk about what actually changes when founders stop trying to fix themselves and start designing systems, including AI-supported ones, that work with how their brains function. Because this is where the relief shows up. And this is what Pam is going to share with us. Do I have that right?
You do indeed.
All right. So before we depart part 1, Pam, where can people find you?
They can find me at simplymagicmarketing.com or just find me on Facebook.
Love it. Pam Langord, y'all, from Simply Magic Marketing. Thank you all. Lovey, I am so glad that you're here and listening because you know that I am all about making running your business easier for you. So I'm glad that you've been with us today, and hang in there for part 2. You'll hear it shortly.